could be a bad thing. You know, I think because at the end of the day, you got to realize that with the FTC non-compete, a lot of people just go to work to go to work.
Facts.
They don't care about what you got going on, but they always got that one or two people, which is people like me. I'm trying to figure out your whole system.
Facts.
I'm gonna implement it.
Absolutely.
So with that, I really truly believe I don't think it's gonna have that big of an impact, but it will have a big impact on people like future ideas that they discuss at the company. Let's just say some
Facts.
future things that they're making up. So I think now companies gonna have to do patents on everything they even think about.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, somebody always gonna steal your idea. I don't care if it's like goddamn what's the little cups they be the Yeti.
Yeah.
How many people didn't copy the Yeti?
Tons.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think yes, it will hurt, but it will hurt, but at the same time, you continue to do business. You got great customer service. I think you're gonna be okay. Your numbers may not be as high as they once was, but I think you're still gonna be profitable to still run a company. What you think about that?
My thing is, bro, I'm always looking out for the small business owner, bro, because I think
it's gonna hurt them.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt them, bro. And I think it really sets up bigger businesses to run plants, right? Because think about it, bro. Like if I'm a big business and I see that you have some kind of cutting edge technology that I'm interested in, what's stopping me from sending a plant into your organization, steal all your ideas, bring it to me, and make the rich richer? You get what I'm saying? What's to stop that from happening? My other concern with this particular law, and we're gonna get into it, is that training. What's gonna happen with training, bro? You gotta understand.
Who did you train now to do?
Training is finna be. Listen, why am I finna overly train you when you could take all of my systems, all of my processes? Because that's what people are typically trying to steal and take it to my competition, right? So all of these kind of things are going to bubble up as people try to navigate these new rules and these new laws. So, I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. But let's go ahead and run this intro, man, because here's the deal, people. We got 3 shows today. That's going to happen back to back. We're going to be sending those links out periodically for you to be able to join the next conversation. We're going to be talking about squatters today.
3 great topics.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about this new TikTok ban. So we got a lot of information to unpack that I really feel is going to have a direct impact on how you convene and move in business. So I'm looking forward to these conversations. Let's get this intro popping. I was jamming, boy.
Yeah. It's a vibe. Good morning. O'Neal Parker, real estate investor, entrepreneur out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I've been in real estate space 2016, full-time entrepreneur since 2020. Do all things real estate, mentor, contractor. And I'm just here to strengthen the wealth gap in the Black community. That's me.
Absolutely. My name is Byron, real estate investor out of Houston, Texas, primarily focused on the wholesale space, do a little bit of creative finance, fix and flip, new construction, new to the build to rent space. Definitely excited about it with over $11 million in real estate in the build right now. So look forward to that. I'm gonna document that full journey. So it's really, really exciting. So, man, but we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to talk about today.
So we talking about these FTC non-compete. So now, I don't know, you know exactly when it starts? Does it start immediately or does it start?
It's immediate.
So it starts immediately. When we talk about non-compete, what that means is typically when you start a new company, I mean, when you start a new job, for the most part, most companies make you sign a non-compete, meaning you can't take their ideas, you can't take their systems, you can't take any data if you plan to quit on to your next journey. Sometimes they do for 12 months, 3 months, 12 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. It's all pretty much the same. It's just pretty much anything you learned here, you cannot take to your new destination. That's basically what it is. So we basically trying to figure out, will it hurt companies? Will it help companies? What it's going to do? For me personally, I think, like I said earlier, some people just go to work and go to work. I don't care about what you got going on. Just give them money. That's it.
Facts.
And then they may be having 1 to 2, 3 people, depending on how big the company is. Like me, I was that type of person. I'm trying to figure out everything you're doing. So whenever I quit this mug, I can use it in my business. It is what it is.
Facts.
So, like I was saying earlier, I say it could help, but it also could hurt, because majority of people just go to work to get their check. They don't even know what's going on. And also, Byron, we got to talk about this. A lot of companies, they don't expose their whole company to each department. So a lot of companies have certain departments, and the only thing you can see is what's going on in your department. So I don't know, but it can't hurt the little company like you said it will, because the big boys got the bag. So,
big boys got the bag, and I think big boys gonna keep the bag. And I think at the end of the day, more established companies, bro, I don't think more established companies got to worry about this. I know that when they created this law, they were thinking that they were hurting the big establishments. But in all honesty, I believe this helps the big companies. I believe this helps the big companies.
Now that I think about it, don't you think it's been going on? Because most times, bigger companies, if they like what's going on in your situation, they just offer to buy your stuff.
Absolutely.
But the small companies, sometimes they don't want to sell.
And now they ain't gonna have to do that. They just gonna be like, you know what? Let me just put a couple plants over there, or just steal their people, and then we just take their ideas.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
So really, you saying this can put smaller businesses out of business faster?
I believe that it hurts the smaller businesses 100%. And because at the end of the day, bro, you got to understand, most people, when you see an apple, most people don't wake up and be like, yeah, I'm just going to create the next Apple. Most people ain't walking around saying, I'm finna go make me an Apple. But if you got somebody who has this small tech firm that, maybe they doing some kind of new innovative spin on robotics, and or this new app that they just created, this new app that allows us to, it's revolutionary technology, but it may not have been adopted by the masses. Those are the people I believe that this is going to hurt most, because at the end of the day, they have more to protect. It's not going to be the big boys. You know what I'm saying? Because the big boys like, yo, like, if you want to be Apple, okay, stick your chest out there and chump. Like, let's see if you can run this play. And most people can't even fathom the idea of being the next Apple. It just is what it is.
So I'll say another thing, that costs these smaller companies a lot more money, because now they got to protect, like they put it in chat, you got to protect everything you got. You got to have patent lawyers. You got to protect your IP. So you got to spend, because all that, it ain't cheap to do all that.
Nah. Bro, just policies, systems, processes, bro. Imagine somebody just taking your stuff. Now, on the flip side of this, I do see this being, it will spur more potential entrepreneurship, more competition in the marketplace, right? But a lot of times that, I think lawmakers, where they get confused in business is that they believe that it's an infinite amount of market share for not right. What happens is the profit margins are going to drop, right? And then at some point, a certain amount of people are just going to go out of business because they can't compete in that sector, and that's it. And then you just left with the people who are able to remain. And that's typically what happens, because, bro, you can only serve like a certain amount of haircuts to one city, right? And then you run out of people.
Right.
I mean, it just is what it is. And so, it's, it just depends on give or take however many businesses are in the market to service those haircuts at any given time that makes up that difference. But at some point, you run out of people and you run out of customers. And at that point, it just is what it is. So I think sometimes lawmakers create these laws thinking that they're aiding something or that they're going to fix something. A lot of times I think they can sometimes make things a little worse. Just my opinion. What's your thoughts on that?
So you think people can run out of customers, or they just need to switch in the market? Because I think you comparing service based to like
I guess my point is this:
the market space it has a cap.
It has a cap. Every market space has a cap. So let's say, for instance, if you have a barbershop, right? At some point, right, you can only cut the amount of available heads that are in the population.
But really, you only can cut what you can handle.
That's true. But I'm saying in general, if you can figure out an innovative way to cut more people in less time, still you only have a certain amount of heads that you can cut in the general population. And at some point, if the market gets oversaturated with barbers, that at some point somebody just not gonna be making some money.
The price got to drop,
quality got to drop, something got to give.
Yeah, man. So I'm trying to figure out what the people think, man. Let's read some of these comments. Let me see. D-Page said they will lead to more people completely replicating businesses with particular affected small business. Larger corporations have built-in systems, but smaller companies will be emancipated.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that easy. And then I see Erica. I want to get Erica take on this. She said Samsung employees went to Apple, took the latest smartphone design. Apple sued Samsung for billions. It's intellectual property. That's true. But here's the deal. My issue is Samsung and Apple are both big boys, right? My thing is this. It's the small companies that don't ever you gotta understand. A lot of times, bro, a lot of those ideas that Apple implements, bro, that'd be smaller companies.
Little
bitty companies, bro, out of the people's garages. And then Apple will either buy the company, right? Or they'll just take the ideas of those smaller companies, implement them, and boom, now we got this new feature in the iPhone. But that one feature, may be a whole company.
You never heard of the dude that created it.
You never heard of it.
Roy Johnson.
Yeah, we just hear about the beats. We hear about all of these, the big acquisitions that Apple makes. But you got to understand, a lot of that technology is either borrowed or acquired.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? When you get that new app on your phone that you're excited about and you're like, okay, this is dope. A lot of times that's like a whole company that created that, and either Apple bought them or worked something out with them to get that technology put into the phone. But it don't just be Apple. Matter of fact, I would argue that most of what we enjoy about Apple didn't come from Apple. It came from these little startups. Companies. Yeah.
Because Apple may own over 500-600 small companies.
Facts.
And they all do different things.
Facts.
It could be one company that just make the screens. How can I make these screens more durable so they don't break? Because my screen don't break as much as it used to. I'm just saying.
And wasn't that a company, I think it was Gorilla Glass or something like that? It was like a whole joint.
You don't hear them no more.
You don't hear them no more. Apple just, So
bought them out.
Yeah. And so my thing is, how this affects you? I think for small businesses and us trying to build things up, I do see where non-competes have gotten a little too aggressive, right? They have gotten a little aggressive. You got people making $13 an hour with non-competes. Like, what we doing, fam? Like, stop. Like,
McDonald's can't have non-compete.
Yeah, bro. We got tattoo artists with non-competes. Like, come on, bro. Like, chill out. You know what I'm saying? I think it has.
So you think non-compete has to be for a certain level of business?
Yeah, certain level and certain level of employee.
Oh, ain't that discrimination?
Yeah,
Why the little guy can't have it, man?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, You know,
could market a certain way. The tattoo shop could market a certain way.
That's true. And that's the reason why they had them in place, because look, man, don't take my ideas to use against me. You know what I'm
People gonna
saying?
take your ideas, bro.
Yeah.
You
You
know what I'm
know,
saying?
I ain't tripping. I think in most cases, bro, um, in most cases, it's not gonna affect anybody. My only fear is that some of the new tech companies are gonna be a lot more stringent. I do believe a lot more companies are gonna be secretive. They're gonna, the training may suffer a little bit. Because people, at the end of the day, training is already suffering, I know in the healthcare space, bro, it's rough because, in the healthcare space, huh?
They in and out of healthcare.
Yeah, they in and out because the companies are not they ain't trying to train, healthcare workers as much because people leave so often.
A lot of travel too.
Yeah, they leave so often that it's like, why are we even putting the money into training these folk when they're gonna leave anyway?
But don't you think a lot of people going? Well, I think a lot of people have started, man. A lot of people don't do in-person training anymore. Everything is like computer based, and you just do it. Whenever you're done, you come on. Because I think they probably changed for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like an in-person training, that shit's taxing, demanding. After training done, they may stay another 2 weeks and they're out of there. You got to start all over again. We seen it. We didn't been through it over the last 4 or 5 years with VAs.
Facts.
Man, I didn't spend 4 months training this VA. Soon as training over,
they gone.
They out of there.
And somebody else enjoying the benefits of your training.
Oh, but it hurt your heart. Hurt your heart, hurt your business and your pocket. Now you got to start all over.
Yeah, bro.
So, that's why a lot of people start going to call centers and all that for reasons like that. So let's just say, Byron, you started another business. So you just started another business, a construction company. So how are you going to separate yourself from all these other companies, and how are you going to protect the ideas that you're coming up with? Because I know you got a CRM that you're going to have just for your construction business. How are you going to protect the stuff that you have in your CRM from the employees that you have? So you have a VA. How are you going to protect all that from the VA? And if she quits, she can go implement all your stuff into somebody else.
That's a good question. I would say this, man. I believe that the good thing is this business is already kind of established, so it ain't too much new under the sun. But I do believe that at the end of the day, bro, ideas is just one part of the picture. I think ideas sometimes is the smallest part of the picture. It's the work. It's the work that, what I'm saying, that don't come for free. And at the end of the day, I believe that, man, a lot of people will talk all this idea, but then when it comes down to implementation, that's where the rubber meets the road. A lot of people bow out. That's what a lot of the so-called competition can't compete because they're not going to do the work.
So you saying they could take the idea, but they can't implement it.
They can't implement it
as much as you can.
Nah, facts. Because they ain't going to do the work. You feel me?
Yeah, that's just how it is in wholesaling. Like everybody know how to wholesale, but not everybody stuff.
Because the work part.
Yeah, I understand them.
You see what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, it's kind of like I look at it kind of like shit. Everything is available for all of us. Everything is already available for all of us, but some of us gonna do the work and some of us ain't.
Yeah, that's a fact. And that's how I look at this, this band, because not everybody gonna do the work. And so Don said non-disclosure agreements will be even more stronger. Hey, they banned them joints.
Yeah, they banned them joints.
It's no more, Don. Non-disclosure is out of there.
Out of there.
You can sign it all day, but it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's banned. I think goes in effect immediately.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
So that's how. But I'm happy you said it because that's how I look at things. If I got ideas or anything, but it is what it is. Will you put in the work as like I will? You may put in the work for a short amount of time, but you're not gonna receive the results that I'm seeing or other people seeing. So you're gonna end up quitting. Because my results may come in 2-3 months. It may take you 2 to 3 years to get the same result.
That's a fact.
And most people don't have that energy to last that long.
That's a fact. D-Page say that this will negatively impact the content and education focused businesses, your students will be able to take your content and basically repackage and resell it without repercussions. A
Oh
lot of
my
that is
God.
true too. A lot of that is true.
I even think about that in the education space.
Yeah, they gonna tell that. So, but here's
Well,
the
they been
thing: that's
doing it
already
though.
happening, though.
They
That's
been
already
doing it
happening.
though. Yeah.
But now it's just gonna probably happen more. Now, obviously, you do have, you can copyright different things, but for the most part, bro, like you ain't gonna be able to, keep none of your own. It's just gonna make people move different from a business perspective. Because at the end of the day, business is gonna figure it out.
So let's see. Say non-disclosure, non-compete is two different things. I
Oh
wonder if
yeah.
that's under the ban though. They may all be in it. Let's see.
Well, nah, NDAs were more.
Oh yeah, that's more. You right. You right.
Yeah. So I would say, maybe that may be true. I'm curious to see kind of like what the effects of it is going to be. I know for me, I've made all of the people that I've worked with or have worked for my company, they've all signed NDA. I mean, not NDAs, but non-competes. That's a part of their agreements. And we've always used it. And it was more so for our intellectual property from the way that we process our leads. We put a lot of money and time into our sales process. I believe we have a rock solid sales process when it comes to wholesaling. And, we didn't want people running around just taking our sales process. And so that's why we implemented that, just in case. Now, did we ever have to enforce it? No. We never enforced it, but we wanted that ability to enforce it if somebody was, directly, just stealing our stuff, which at the end of the day, who knows if they did or didn't, who knows? But I want to know, like, what do you guys think? Do you believe that this will affect you and your business? And if so, how do you feel like this will affect your business? I want to get some comments. And if anybody want to join in, pull up.
Because Don got some special sauce there.
Yeah, Don got some special sauce. I'm curious to see what his thoughts is on this as well, because, being that he has a technology company, it's a small business with some cutting edge things that he's doing. I'm curious to see how he views this, because I think that's why I think this affects people the most. Like tech businesses. Yeah, tech businesses, smaller tech businesses, because it's always a company out there that's looking to buy out a company like that, or just take their ideas, bro. If they're not protected well enough.
Don, are you free to join us, Don?
Yeah,
because I think you had the perfect example of this situation.
Yeah. And while we wait on that, listen, we have 3 shows today. So what we're going to be doing is at some point we're going to be sending out that next show that's coming up. We're going to be talking about squatters today. We're going to be talking about TikTok today as well, because I feel like it's so many things going on in business that's going to help people. So that's going to be our next show. TikTok, they're planning on banning TikTok. We're going to be talking about that as well. But we have Don, what's going on?
Uh-oh.
So Don, what you talked about all this?
Listen, man. I have to redo some of my paperwork because I have a non-compete, non-disclosure all in one document.
Absolutely.
Because see, when you sit down and talk to somebody, because I'm talking to somebody right now that has some big ties with other big business that's bigger than mine. Okay. And this person is a go-getter. Okay. And
does that make you nervous?
And no, it don't make me nervous. No, it don't make me nervous. It's just that, at the end of the day, people are people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people are people, and they'll try to take your stuff and run with it. So, how did I acquire this information? Who put my software together? All of that stuff, So when you sit down to talk and say, okay, let's hammer out a deal, we don't say one word until that non-disclosure is signed. Okay.
Have people offered to buy your company before?
Oh no.
Would you sell it?
Listen, man, that's the whole thing. I definitely would. It's the price has to be, has to,
Right.
it's my baby. But see, here's the thing: if I sold it, I would say I would I would want to be involved in some of the decision making, somewhere along the line, because our whole goal is to help people, and you don't know at the outset if you're selling to somebody who is out there to make
Money.
as much money as they possibly can at the expense of people.
We got a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want anything that we worked on and sweated over to help people, because see, there's been a lot of can I pay my bills putting this thing together, okay? So and so while we're struggling to help, it's my opinion that when you help enough other people get what they want, you get what you want.
Facts.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So this is kind of this is our approach to it. Instead of looking at how much money we could make, we want to see how many people we can serve. And then when you serve people well, they'll put your name out there. Because I believe you all believe not just in what we're talking about, but you believe in the person that's talking.
Facts.
If you didn't believe in the person that's talking, you're gonna say, "Oh, Don, you can't you can't be on our show."
Facts.
Okay, and I've had you all on my show,
Facts.
right? And I told them from the outset, anybody that I bring on the show, I would do business with or have done business with, because you are going to call them to do business because of the association with this show.
Facts.
Okay. And so I don't want anything blowing back on me. Say, Don, why you had them on the show? That
Right. That happened a lot, though.
It happened a lot.
So, Don, I got a question about your business. How is your business protected? Is it copyrighted? Is it patent protected?
All right. So if you go to the government website right now and look up the copyright for Pill Method, it's got my name on it. If you look at the Pill Method is a registered trademark, got my name on it. Okay. So we had to pay for all of that.
Well, now I want to ask you, for the people here that has new business that want to do all these things that you're doing, what's the typical cost for that? Because I'm sure you did it a few years ago. The price probably changed.
Oh yeah, well, if you can get a good copyright lawyer, and they can get that done for under $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, they can get it done for under $2,000. But it's a process.
It take a while. We got no stingy energy trademark.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
You see, because they got to do a trademark search, and then they got to put it out just in case somebody wants to appeal, that, and they try to take it away from you. There's all kinds of stuff, and it takes some time, and then people, when you see the product and you see it in the wild, you see it out there, people actually using it, you don't know what all went on before it. NVIDIA has just announced a new chip. All right. The first chips they put out, it was like 30 or 40 million in development. This last chip was 10 billion. 10 billion in development.
Wow. I know a lot of people making money off their stocks.
Yes, including me. But anyway, but 10 billion in development. Should they be allowed to protect that investment?
I hope so.
Because you got all the people. You got your lead engineer who knows everything.
And now he can dip.
And all he needs is another deep pocket.
That's it.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, it don't even have to be as deep, because you got to understand the 10 billion in research is already done. You got to understand, bro. A lot of times these big companies, that's why I was saying it, like they throwing millions of dollars against the wall just to see what stick. They ain't got it figured out. It's failure after failure after failure before we even see the product.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Millions of dollars. Same thing happens with startups. The only difference with a lot of the startups and smaller companies is one person. It's somebody like a Dunn who's tinkering at his software over and over. I mean, hours. Some people wait 10 years on one product before they go to the public, right? And imagine you go to the public and the main person that you bring on to help you get all this stuff done, they just dip on you, take all of that intellectual property that you've cultivated over the last 10 years to another company, and boom, they come out with it, and all of your money is in the trash can.
But I would say this though, that's why it's important to treat all your people good and treat them fairly, because most people leave because they don't feel appreciated,
and some people leave because they got a better opportunity too.
That's why you got to pay them right. You need vacation. Hey, brother, take 2 weeks. You need a week. Take 2 weeks. I'm gonna pay you the next week. Go enjoy your family.
Listen, we had yesterday was Administrative Professionals Day. You know, you've got an administrative assistant. You know, it's on my calendar. You know, so when we send her a little something. You know. Because it takes that kind of thing. If you want, you're right. People will leave, and it's usually because they're disgruntled. They feel bad about the situation. They don't like leaving places where they have, they have. I like going to work every day. I like going to work.
You need people like that.
I want people. Listen, I don't want them coming and around the water cooler. I hate this place.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want that. You want people who come to work to enjoy working. And that way, because sometimes, you can imagine if they leave and they leave with a bad feeling, that they will intentionally try to hurt you.
Yeah.
Because,
they will intentionally take all your stuff.
Listen, when I have to let somebody go, I change all the passwords first.
Immediately.
Before they go.
Fact.
Okay. Because listen, you got an admin, they got all your passwords, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's the first thing you got to get on, man.
You got to do that before you even have that little one-on-one meeting.
Yeah, before you have that conversation, bro. Like,
you listen, you don't even know.
What's going on? I can't log in something's going on.
Oh.
I don't know. Come sit in my office. Let's figure it out real quick.
There you go. So that's what we're talking about, man. So you got to take care of your people. You got to take care of your people.
So let's before we even get out of here and go on the next show, let's talk about how you retain and keep quality people on your team. I know for me, like I said, I would care about them. Like, I know their birthdays, Christmas, hey, send them some money. Just ask them about them. How's your day going? How's your family going? How's your relationship going? How's your kids doing in school? Because you got to think about it. Most times when you work at a job, the employer doesn't even care about the employee.
Facts.
You another number.
Yeah.
They don't never, like, you see the bus and one employee, they pass each other right up. Don't have a conversation. Don't say, hello, how your day going? I never want to be that type of boss or whatever. I don't even you ain't got to call me boss. So that shit weird.
Yeah. What's special about our situation is that me having ASD, autism spectrum disorder, having personal relationships, that's a challenge. That is a challenge. When people were talking about COVID and they couldn't get out and intermingle with other people,
that was good for you.
Oh man,
that's your lane.
Oh man, I didn't miss it at all. Not at all. It didn't affect me negatively one bit at all. So, that's just how I'm wired. So for me to I have to literally work at being that kind of person, that's interested in you. My wife asks me all the time, how many kids they have? I don't know. Where do they live? I don't know.
I don't know where they live.
You know, what state do they live? I don't know. Listen.
You tell me.
Listen, I'm talking to a client for an hour, and it's all about business. And then I have to remember, you need to be a person.
Facts.
Okay. And for some people to be a person, it comes naturally.
Mm.
It takes a ton of energy for me to be a person.
I know that what I've learned is that I'm a great listener. And I feel like I have tremendous listening skills. And as a result of that, people love to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? They love to talk to me. And it's not because I got something important to say. It's just because I will let them talk about what they want to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Not everybody good listeners.
Not everybody good listeners.
Cutting people off and shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And most people don't ever get a chance to be heard by anybody, and nobody ever really is interested in what they got going on. So when they catch somebody like me, bruh, but they gonna capture me for about an hour.
Listen, Byron, when it comes to that, you know, have you ever felt anxious about anything? You know, I have great anxiety. When we're talking, I like to get to the point, you know, talk about what you need to talk about, and then, you know, move on.
Yeah, me too.
But if I ask you a question, now you want to tell me a whole story about it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's not that I don't appreciate you as a person, but it's like fingernails on a chalkboard to me.
Yeah. Well, it's like, so me too. But the only difference is, I guess, is that what I've grown to understand, right, is that people need that listening board. They need that.
They do.
And you know, here's another piece to that. And I know this may not be your situation, but I say that, you know, in the invent of social media, we are so like conditioned to scroll to the next story. We just want the soundbite. We just want the headline and get to the next story. And when I'm done listening, I don't want to listen to you in person, because in person you can't just scroll. You can't just you can't just go to the next YouTube video, go to the next Instagram post. You can't do that. You gotta really listen. You be like, whoa, wait, I'm stuck on this same Instagram post for like the last 30 minutes. Like, this sucks. And so, but
I think a lot of people got that problem though.
But listen, bro, I do understand that it's necessary. You know, I do understand it's necessary. So my admin has been with me 5 years now. 5 years, May 10th. You know how I know that? Because we're going to have a 5-year celebration at the office for this person. You know, balloons, going to have a cake, you know, invite their family in, going to have all of that. Now, normally, that would have passed me by.
Yeah.
Okay. But you learn to, you know, to be in leadership. I would always get mixed up. I would always get mixed up leadership with being a boss. You know, I'm the boss, do what I say, but that's not being a leader.
That's not being a leader at all.
They got different types of leaders too.
Listen, I didn't know what leadership meant. And then when I found out what it meant, the whole relationship in the business changed.
I struggle with that too, man. Sometimes I just want to talk business. And a lot of times too, you got to be careful as a leader, because a lot of times people will trauma dump, right? And trauma bond, and they want you to, you'll get sucked into having to solve people's problems for them. And when you're in that leadership role, it's a delicate balance between, I am the leader of this company,
and friendship.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a delicate balance. So sometimes you do have to limit those personal conversations, because people will try to drag you into their personal problems, and want you to solve their personal problems for them, or bad decision making for them, right? When they really don't have no interest in solving it for themselves. And so it gets a little dicey.
I said another thing with the leadership and friendship piece. When you start having all them personal conversations, start to lose respect for you as a leader for the company.
Ooh, that's a big
And you
one.
have to you
They
listen.
think
That's
you're
a fine
friends.
line.
Yeah.
That's a fine line because you'll take that and that is
That's
friendship,
tough.
and then want to start taking liberties,
Yeah.
showing up
Yeah.
late.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. I ain't your friend no more. You gotta go. Yeah, because they start getting lenient. Like, oh, that's my
Yeah.
friend. He not gonna worry about it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't do that. But a lot of people really do that though. Like, as the more they get comfortable with you, the more lenient they want to get.
Yeah, well, see,
They
so
showed up
when-
one
when it-
time 3 years straight. Y'all started being friends. Y'all want to go drink on the weekends a little bit. They start coming later and later and later and later. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
No, there is. You got to have that where you can still say, there's a way to tell a person that they messed up. There's a way to say, listen, we can do this better. You know, I've learned how to do that without sound being hurtful in doing it. You have to be cognizant of other people's feelings. And for a person like me, that's hard to do because I don't understand feelings.
Yeah, me, I struggle with that too.
Yeah,
That's just how
I'm a
I'm wired.
fact-based person.
I'm not too emotional wired.
Yeah, I'm not emotional and I'm logical. So I'm I'm hit with the double whammy. Like, I don't process feelings. I understand them, right? And I've grown to understand them, but I am logic based, meaning it got to add up. Like, you can't just throw no feeling-y type stuff on me. Like, I don't connect in that way, but I've grown to understand that matters. And a lot of times, what I've grown to understand is that feeling piece sometimes matter even more than the logic piece. And you have to be able to hear people. You have to be able to connect with people on a deeper level and really, really process where they're coming from in order to be an effective leader. Because, bro, at the end of the day, people like working with people. And that's not something you can quantify on some KPI board. That's a connection, and you have to be able to make that connection. And that's why I pride myself on being a good listener, really, really understanding where people are coming from and allowing them to have unmitigated ability to kind of express themselves in certain ways, especially when they need to get that vent off or whatever it may be,
Byron and O'Neal, y'all should invite my admin in to do a show. Admins and employees, all right? And say, okay, because she'll tell you. And when we first started working together, she would quit in her head about 3 or 4 times a day. She told me that. I quit in my head.
Sometimes they be the best. Sometimes they be the best people, though.
Yeah.
Listen, because we work through that.
Yeah.
We have
actually care.
Yes, there's a relationship now. We have a whole a whole dynamic, in the business now. And she's excellent at customer service, because let me tell you something. I was very jealous of my customers. Not everybody can talk to my customers. Because there's a certain level of trust that I did not have. And I admit that I did not have that. I want to make sure that I can, I was in control of that when it comes to talking to the customers. Listen, this woman now, she sets these folks up like nobody's business. Okay. All I do is knock them down. She can, how I can get about getting deep into amortization schedules and all that. Listen, she can describe this program to people calling in on the phone. I don't even have to answer their questions anymore. Okay. That's the relationship we have now. And you don't think I want to protect that? You know how long it would take
to get another person
to do that?
Right. You got to take care of your people, man.
Okay.
That's why I take it. Listen, like,
I'm afraid to tell you how much she makes.
Hey, with that being said, you taking care of people. We gotta hear what ET gotta say because you took care of him.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
That was my Tesla money.
That's a fact.
We got
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
Listen, make sure you go to ice10k.com, get your free savings and earnings report. Mr. Don himself, we put it together for you.
Yes.
Facts.
Then after you get it, you can talk to Don about how you can make it happen.
Facts.
Houses, credit cards, student loans, all that, man. Absolutely. Everybody in this chat, I'm more than sure, got some debt that they need to pay.
Listen, we're going to reveal some new stuff, some new information that nobody's heard on Sunday.
Yes. What time? It's going to be live on YouTube?
Yeah, yes, live on YouTube, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk because interest rates have hit 7% again.
They went up.
It went up.
It's 7% again. We're going to tell them how, not only how to deal with it, but why it's going on and what's really happening. Because when you take a look at how a loan breaks down principal and interest, people think that part of your money goes to principal, part of your money goes to interest. That ain't it at all. I'm going to reveal the real secret on Sunday. What's really happening with your money after you give it to the bank.
And what time is that again? Sunday?
Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube.
I'm going to go ahead and be there, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get up. I need to take it up.
You're going to hear and the thing is, you talk about it wrong and you believe it, but when I point it out to you, you're going to say, you know what? You're exactly right. And when I do it in my business, I don't think about it that way at all. I'm going to point that out to you guys on Sunday.
Man, I can't wait to check it out, man.
Definitely got to check that out. I know that inflation is still, still a problem. Prices are still going up, right? And I'm pretty sure that's what's driving a lot of these decisions, And so, listen, make sure you tap in. We're getting ready to transition to a new conversation. So
Squatters.
Get the link. We're going to talk about these squatters, right? It's a lot of information in here that we need to unpack. So you need to learn about how this is going to affect you, right? How this is going to affect you. What do we see other states implementing, right? We're going to talk about all of the different states that are doing different things, right? And what this is going to look like and how it's going to impact you and your business moving forward, especially if you're looking to get into the space of real estate, or if you just own some real estate, you inherit some real estate or your own personal property these days.
Yeah, you go on vacation, you come back, somebody else took your house.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want them kind of problems. So we're going to talk about that from the legal aspect of things, from an investment side of things, right? And from the personal side of things. So go ahead and hit the link. Do we have the link to the new YouTube show? Do we have a link to the new YouTube show?
It's in the chat.
I see the StreamYard, but I don't see the link.
Oh yeah, that might be our link, huh?
Yeah, we need the link to the show, baby.
Let's see if we get the link to the show. But I know
there we go.
They're asking for your YouTube channel, Don. How did they get to your YouTube channel?
I'm putting it in.
Perfect. Billy trying to show up. So y'all go ahead and transition. We'll transition over, man. And with that being said, this is a beautiful conversation. So make sure you tune in to ice10k.com. He dropping some new sauce on Sunday. Make sure y'all pull up. Y'all gotta stay engaged. Like the video and meet us on the next one.
Yes, indeed.
Peace.
Hey, so often people ask me how to get in real estate, how to get started in real estate. Look, I have a mentorship group. I have live classes that I usually teach. It's usually from an hour to 2 hours, depending on the subject we're talking about. I teach from 12 weeks to 15 weeks. All right. If you're interested in my mentorship, text wealth to this number right here, and I'll send you the link directly to the website. If you're looking to go to the next level, I got you. The classes are live. You can ask any question you want. I'm here for you. And I'll see you on the inside. Peace.